quarter in the bag. Old movies are better.
I refuse to do this. That's
Okay.
studying.
All right, so round one, your pick. What movie did you pick?
picked-
What was the theme for round one?
Intro theme. We didn't
Intro
actually
theme.
have a theme for the first round of movie picks. So I picked first, and I chose Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan,
Yes.
because I really don't know why.
I'll chase him round the moons of Nibia and round the Antares maelstrom and round perdition's flames before I give him up.
And
Intro
There
theme.
she is.
surprisingly,
Intro
I
theme.
thought Cameron he would give it like a 7 or 8 out of 10, but then you ended up giving it a 9 out of 10.
I gave it a 9 out of 10. It was very good. It did a lot.
But see, early on, like when I was watching it, right? I would like,
Okay.
especially in that opening bit where they're like just basically flying out of the spaceport, right? I was like, Cameron's gonna find this so boring and slow, especially with no with no build up to this like show and the first movie and stuff. Like this is just kind of your introduction to the characters of them like just kind of flying out of the spaceport, right?
Oh,
like, you know,
in
there's
the
that really long scene.
simulation?
No, after that, like when they go up to the Enterprise and they're just flying for that training thing with the people, not
Oh.
not in the simulation afterwards.
No, I didn't find that boring at all.
Okay.
I found that fine.
Yeah.
You weren't like confused, like, who's this guy?
Well, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of stuff where you just like have a character be there and they just like, because you know it's been introduced before, but I don't know, you just have to, just gotta go with it.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Just
saw
go with
the thing you guys were talking about, the Botany Bay or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what that was, but I just knew, oh, it must
They
be bad
explained it.
people. Like, I'm guessing that was the cons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They explained it really well.
Or no,
actually, in the
are they
movie.
called the
Yeah.
cons or the Klingon? No, Klingons were from the
Those are
simulation.
different race. They
Yeah.
have, like
The,
Klingons
are
are
they
in it.
called cons or is it just his name?
that's
his
not
name
just
is
his
Khan.
name.
Okay.
The
And
rest
what
are
what's
other-
the race?
They're
Genetic-
just genetically
people.
modified from like the
Yeah.
90s.
But and they're like
universe.
humans.
Yeah, they're
Yeah, the late 90s.
Late
I remember
90s.
that.
Yeah.
Which, funny enough, apparently, in between the 90s and when he was unthawed, he became Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah. Well, in the reboot.
Yeah.
Which
Which is technically a prequel. He's just Benedict Cumberbatch as his younger self.
No, they did
All the
like
characters.
they did a really good job introducing Khan as like this really evil, powerful guy without having
Oh,
him
yeah.
just like go in and punch someone.
Yeah, I know.
Or like the whole, you know, getting the babies from the
Oh.
mama ear eater thing. That was, I don't know, it was really good.
That scene, that's one of my favorite scenes in science fiction.
I told
Really?
you
I love that
in
scene
Discord,
so
like
much.
the squeal of those baby larvae is like ingrained into my memory.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's awesome because you're gonna do this generic kind of like mind control plot, like oh he's controlling his
Yeah.
mind, but they don't just like have him mind control him in like a generic way. Like that scene is interesting. The way they set that up is like fun. So like you could excuse the fact that it's kind of cliche. I think.
Also,
Yeah.
I don't think they explained this, but Chekhov is like, he was part of the original crew along with
I knew, like, they
Characters
definitely made him
involved.
seem very important.
Yeah.
I thought he was
Because
just
he was
the captain of the, what is it, starts
The
with an R?
Reliant.
Reliant, yeah.
He is now because this takes place like 10. How long does it take place after the original series?
10 years
Okay,
maybe.
yeah. Because they're
Couple
all
after
they're
the
all
motion
crew,
picture.
including Chekhov and all them. Are all crew on the original on the ship, the Enterprise in the original series.
And it's the
Then-
same ship?
Yeah, it's the same ship.
Okay.
It's been refitted a bit
Kinda,
to make it
yeah.
look nicer and be faster, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's Kirk's an admiral now and all that, right?
Yeah.
That's good.
The whole like when Kirk's like charisma like willed the ear dudes out of their ears. I thought what was his
Chekhov.
Chekhov. I thought he just straight up died, but then he was just alive
Yeah.
a scene later. I was like, oh okay. Cause like the one guy died, like killed himself, preventing the thing from killing him. So I thought he was like Chekhov was for sure dead when the thing came out of his ear.
That was a little vague, but whatever.
But he was good. Well, it was like it developed. Oh, Kirk is very charismatic and a good person. Don't you find? I don't know. I just got vibes from this. He's like an old Chris Pratt.
I
No,
can.
I don't see
Really?
that.
Well,
No,
In
Chris
some
Pratt's like
ways.
goofy.
He is goofy in that.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
No.
Their
no.
dialogue. They're like
What's the
goofing off.
word?
Like they're friends. They're all goofy with each other. Like him and
Not
Spock.
in the same way. I mean, I don't know.
Quirky.
Kirk definitely, he's not the most serious one. Like he is kind of a bit more like loose in a way.
yeah.
Like he's not Picard, you know. He's not like the really
That's
like
why I
tough,
don't like
strict
Picard
one.
as much. That's why his TOS is my favorite.
Picard is good in different ways. Kirk is like he believes in like the rules and everything, but he still isn't afraid to break them. That's
yeah.
kind of his character.
He's like the most rebellious, really. Captain.
He's rebellious, but not like in an obvious way. Where, like
Mhm.
that's his defining trait, you know. Just
He actually
he's
has a
willing to do
character.
that when he
He's not
has
a
to.
one-note character.
Which they made him that
They made
in
him
the
that
09.
in the 09
when he
in the
just like
reboot
he's
series.
just a rebel.
It's just that's
it,
all.
it takes the complexity of his
and
character and
Spock
simplifies it.
he's Kirk is a rebel. Spock is what even is Spock in the reboot? He's just smart,
Spock is
logical.
mean because
Yeah,
he-
he's mean.
Logical.
Actually, that is his character in the reboot. Spock is
is
just a
mean.
mean person. It's awful.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's just a bad human being.
He goes from being like, well, a great person pretty much, and that sacrifice and stuff, right?
yeah.
Shield's collapsing, Captain.
Yeah.
So the only thing I
yeah.
knew about Vulcans going into that was the ears. I didn't know that they were emotionless, but I got that they were logical because they said it over and over again
Yeah.
that they were
Oh, and
Also,
logical.
Spock is interesting because he is that. He's like logical and emotionless, but he still does have emotion.
Well,
he
he's
still
half
cares
human.
for
That's
people.
his thing.
Oh, he's half human.
He's
Yeah.
half human, unlike
That-
all the other
that
Vulcans.
makes total
Also,
sense.
Lieutenant Sarek is half
Yeah, yeah, that's
Romulan.
it. Yeah.
The woman
isn't
who was
that's
on the bridge.
Savick?
Savick.
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 Yeah, she was
Yeah.
half of
Did you know
Romulan.
the actress is part of the Church of Scientology? She's the second highest
really?
rank. Yeah.
Wasn't she recast in Search for Spock? I'm thinking of someone else maybe.
Oh yeah, the
But-
third movie. I remember looking at the
Yeah,
title.
no, she was recast. I think her only movie was Star Trek 2.
Yeah.
And well, in the Star Trek universe. But the whole like climax there was Spock dying and he does a thing.
Oh yeah.
I don't
Oh,
know.
that's-
Maybe I just saw that in some weird pop culture
bet it's
thing,
pretty
but
much
I
some
remember
reference, yeah.
the thing. Maybe when I was really little, I remember that scene. Does that happen in any of the other Star Trek movies
Yes.
where
Into
Okay.
Darkness.
Into Dark- that's
Into
what I
Darkness,
saw,
They,
yeah.
they do the twist on it,
But it's
where
so
now Kirk
bad in
dies.
Into Dark. Kirk is the one
Kirk
who's
dies.
Yeah.
But
That
instead
makes
of
more
him going
sense.
into a room and doing things, it's like this big action scene of like jumping between these chambers, like really epic.
Yeah,
And then 2
So
minutes
Into
later,
Darkness.
he's revived by being pumped with con blood. So
Yes.
it's so bad.
the
Really
con
con
blood,
blood?
which works on
because-
every
because
species of
Con-
animal.
Con in Into Darkness is like a superhero. Like he has powers.
Yeah.
He can regenerate and stuff.
He's not just like an intelligent man
Who's
who's somewhat
strong
strong
and
sometimes.
fueled by vengeance. Con is just evil.
The only
Instead of,
strong
like,
thing he did was like
wounded pride.
he lifted a steel beam at one point or something.
Yeah,
He's not
to get
like
off of his,
people
like-
are punching him in the face. He's just like
Remember.
resisting. Like it's not comical like Into Darkness.
Into Darkness is
what's your
Interesting.
Bad.
favorite scene from the movie?
The
Oh.
space slug scene
the space slug.
is yeah.
Space Slug?
I just like the whole final
Like the-
battle
in the air.
Oh,
whole
yeah.
final showdown in the
Oh,
Tara
yeah,
and Nebula.
My
That's
favorite
That
my
whole
favorite
thing.
scene. Well, I mean it's not really a scene,
Best.
but when I think it was Spock tells Kirk that Khan can only think in a two-dimensional way.
Yes,
So they
that's
make the
great.
spaceship go down to the 10,000
Yeah,
meters
I
on a
love that.
3D plane.
That's
That was like the
awesome.
best thing ever. It was awesome.
Um,
Like literally can only think
Yeah.
two-dimensionally.
Like it makes me sad that a movie like this will never be made again. Where it's like an action movie, but it's done in a really creative way. Where
It's 'cause it was
you
low
know,
and
budget.
it's slow.
Yeah.
So
it
they
was
can
low
just have a
budget,
big,
The
yeah.
like,
script is
battle.
great, where it's not just like they have a big battle at the end. The way Khan is so like intelligent and conniving, and the way he's like able to be one-upping everyone, but they still outsmart him in the end. It feels natural and feels
feels
creative.
Well, it's
natural.
awesome. Can how you can have a rivalry like that and they don't even meet each other.
That's true.
Yeah,
They
that's
don't even
true,
come
actually.
face to face
There's
at all.
no
It's awesome.
there's no fist fight
True.
between Kirk and Khan.
Yeah.
At the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the one thing I was kind of confused on is why were the genetically engineered humans on that planet?
Yeah.
This goes back to
okay.
the episode Space Seed from the original series, where basically the Enterprise is just flying through space. They come across a ship. They're like, this is not a ship in any of our records. And they go on board and they're like, this technology is really old. And they're like, it's from the 90s. And there's all people sleeping.
and it's
And they
Khan
wake
and
up the crew, and it's Khan and his crew. And then Khan tries to like take over the Enterprise or something, and it ends with him kind of just
Yeah, and
capturing
the Kirk,
Khan.
like,
I think.
And is that
punches Khan
is that how
a few
he gets
times.
mad at Kirk? Is that
Yeah.
where
Well,
the
pretty
they
much
send
comes
him
from?
to the planet for exile,
Yeah.
and the other planet exploded or something nearby, throwing his planet out of orbit. This is what they say.
No, something blew up on the planet. I
Something
thought
blew up
it was
on
an
the
explosion that messed
And
it all up.
Kill some of his
It
crew. or
destroyed like the environment so that it was like
Yeah.
a wasteland. They were barely surviving, and his wife died. A bunch of things.
something. Yeah,
Yeah.
Was that his son? That character Khan like kept threw the thing
It's
off of. I
possible.
think it was Khan's.
it's possible.
Also
Like the
Kirk's
other
son.
guy.
Yeah, Kirk's son.
I'm even more confused than you because I forgot about Kirk's son being a.
That's a big
character.
plot point in the third movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, like
oh yeah,
spoilers,
with Christopher
but-
Lloyd and stuff.
like halfway
Yeah, yeah.
through they heavily
movies-
implied that he was his son, but I didn't catch it fully, so like I just pretended I didn't like think he was his son
Well, Kirk
fully.
doesn't know at this point, right? Not until 3 is when he actually learns.
No,
But
they
talk-
at the
know in
end they
this,
like
know in
hug.
this, They know in this.
They hug. He's like, "I'm proud of
they
you,
hug and talk
Dad,"
about it.
and they like hug it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you watch it last night?
Okay. I forgot.
You
I-
didn't
I-
watch it?
No, I did watch it.
Oh, you
a lot
just
of
forgot it.
a lot of the movies blend together for me.
There she is.
Can you tell me earlier about the Apple scene in 09?
Oh. Okay. So, in Wrath of Khan, there's a scene where they're talking about the Kobayashi Maru,
Yeah.
which is a very like iconic bit of that movie. I think is the whole
Yeah.
idea that Kirk cheated,
He just cheated.
and during that scene in the movie, he's eating an apple. So in 09, the prequel, when they're showing him do the Kobayashi Maru, he's eating an apple, which is the dumbest
Well,
thing.
He was eating the apple when he said that was when he was saying how he doesn't like to. Oh yeah, that's when he revealed that he cheated when they were in the.
scene when they're
barren planet.
talking about it.
Yeah.
And he's
okay.
eating an apple in 09 as a reference to it. And that makes me
Aw.
angry. I hate that reference because I know a lot of people hate J.J. Abrams for like the Force Awakens references. Where it's just
Yeah.
like, oh look, it's the,
It's a visual
the hologram
reference.
chess.
There's
it's,
nothing else to it.
It's like the ball that they use to train. It's like dumb stuff like that, but it doesn't. It's just like a visual thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas it's like you, like the Star Wars references was more like remember this, remember that, and that's annoying. Yeah, it's
clapped
annoying
when
in
I
a
got the
different way.
reference.
But the Star Trek prequel is more like pseudo intellectual, where it's like, oh look at this really intelligent reference that only the truest fans know. He's eating an apple. You get it, right? Isn't that funny? And it's just annoying. It
I mean,
frustrates me.
I didn't know about it till you mentioned it. I didn't
Okay,
make the connection. But I
that-
haven't seen
that
09 in
annoys
a while
me.
as well.
I hate 09.
With like
I hate it.
in Star Trek 2, they're really good at establishing the relationship between Spock, Kirk, and Bones. Because like
That's
I
the
knew
most
Yeah.
important- that's
I
the
knew
most
nothing
important
about these characters or their relationships, but like as soon as they go on the ship with all the cadets together and start like doing their own thing and like communicating with each other, you just know they're like friends and they
Yeah,
know
it's
stuff.
very natural.
Over
Yeah.
half of the episodes from the original series had like Kirk, Spock, and Bones going down to a planet together to like explore something. It was those
Yeah.
three always.
Yes, always those three. Except in the new ones when they kind of made like Uhura as like the third lead and McCoy kind of stepped aside a bit.
Yeah.
I'm honestly
Just
surprised that they
Scotty had a lot of stuff.
I don't know, like they just executed so well. You'd think they wouldn't focus on that very much because you're coming from that whole '60s series and the first movie.
Yeah.
They wouldn't think that people hadn't seen anything before.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if it's even conscious. I think it's just natural.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
just good
natural.
writing.
Yeah. I mean, the guy that directed the movie, he also like rewrote the script, and apparently when they hired him, he didn't see a single episode of the show.
Yeah, and he
So-
watched the entire show before
Yeah.
writing it.
Which I like the idea that obviously
It's a
there's a
lot.
lot of people working on the movie who care about the source material, but the fact that they got a guy who just focused on like making a good script,
Yeah.
and it's a good combination of like the fan servicey stuff, like it feels like a Star Trek movie, but it also is just like a really competent.
It
well
feels like a
made
really
movie.
long Star Trek episode.
Yeah,
That's what
in
the
a
movie
good
should be.
way.
Yeah.
Evasive power. A few shots, sir.
Not enough against their shields.
Evasive starboard. Scotty, I need warp speed in 3 minutes or we're all dead.
All the all like the sets and models were really good.
Oh,
like
oh,
even
yeah.
even the
Yeah.
barren planet, it looked really good. I wonder
like
if they
to-
like
Matte paintings by Chris Evans,
The matte
Captain
paintings,
America.
the
Chris
matte
Evans.
paintings.
Yeah.
at the young age of 1.
Those were some
got
good
credited
matte
for
paintings,
painting.
like of the underground planet.
Oh yeah, yeah. A lot of good matte paintings and stuff in Search for Spock, which I don't love that much, but like A lot of stuff in that movie I remember looking good.
It's so cool compared to just
Yeah.
a CGI landscape that you get in any
Oh
modern
yeah,
movie.
actually, all the Star Trek movies have really good, except for Voyage Home, ironically. But
But-
no, even like the volcano
Unfortunately.
planet, I think in
Oh.
motion pictures look really good. I like that a lot. I think no,
I don't remember that.
no, it wasn't. No, it was just no something in the beginning of that movie.
I don't think I've
was really
seen the
good.
first 10 minutes of motion picture.
Really?
I think I've seen the whole thing.
The
other than
opening
the
of
first
that
10
movie,
minutes.
I remember, was really good.
Oh.
I will say,
So I'm
just
gonna
to
have to
say
look this up.
one negative thing about the movie is when Khan is like unlocking the capsule thing to detonate the sorry, what is it again?
Genesis.
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 To detonate that,
The
there's a
band.
really like jarring edit when it first cuts to the what is Genesis?
Genesis the band.
Just think.
Yeah, no.
Just think of
If
the
it
band,
cuts
yeah.
to the Genesis for like a split second, I guess to establish that that's why he's like doing the stuff to detonate it.
Yeah.
But it's really jarring, and it does it for just a second, and then it cuts back to it like a second later. So I feel like it could have just like, you know, had him
Okay.
undoing it for
If that's your
one
biggest
more
negative.
second.
I
No,
kinda
that's
dis-
actually
I
my
kinda
biggest
disagree with
negative.
that,
Yeah.
because is it supposed to be obvious the Genesis probe is on the Reliant at that time?
Yes,
It's
he
very obvious.
beamed it in.
Okay.
He stole it from them and beamed it
Yeah.
in.
See, you know, I almost in the back of had pushed that to the back of my mind that the
Well, you
Genesis
don't
probe
even
was
need
on
to,
it. So
you-
it's kind of a reminder, like.
Like, okay,
Yeah,
so
it's almost a
before the
mini
jarring
reveal,
cut,
you know?
we were in suspense for like 2 or 3 seconds. They could have extended that to 4 or 5, and it's
Yeah,
not like
that's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
whatever.
Just that
Like-
one, like the
Yeah,
first
no.
of those cuts. Get rid
yeah,
of.
the very first
Just
one. It was
now
like
it's-
It's like the
You know,
animals
it's-
no,
probably
that's
dead
just
now,
like
it's fine.
really.
You know, it's a good
nitpicky,
movie
so-
when we're critiquing one
One edit.
single edit in the movie.
Yeah.
Didn't you say something
I-
about tonal whiplash?
Yeah, the scene where they put the ear things in Chekhov and that random dude, the captain ship, right?
Yeah, some guy.
It goes from that immediately to playing the happy theme and they're like going on board the Enterprise to fly it away.
No, that's
no,
great.
yeah,
because
no,
they're
I thought it was
unaware
more-
of that. They're blissfully
Yeah.
ignorant of it.
See, that's just like my opinion. That's just my opinion.
And it
Yeah.
establishes the
There's a
bad
little-
guys from the good guys.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not the best choice, but I get
It was
it.
really
I
the
didn't
music
mind
that
it
did
at all.
It went from these like
The
squealing,
music's really good.
like intense scene, and then just like do.
I think that was the intent, was the idea that they
Yeah.
were unaware of it.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's purposeful.
I mean, it's not so profound that your criticism of it isn't just, but whatever, it's fine.
I've done far worse than kill you. I've hurt you. And I wish to go on hurting you. I shall leave you as you left me, marooned for all eternity, buried alive.
Oh, you know what else? I had flashbacks to the original series when there was a bit where Kirk punched somebody, and it was a very like weak and understated punch with like
The
very
Kirk Fu.
bad
the
sound
original
effects.
series where he's going like
Yeah.
Yeah, it
yeah,
reminds
and
me of
then
like the original series
people
where like
flying.
Kirk would punch Spock in that one episode, and it was just very pathetic
Yeah.
and weak.
Oh.
Well, I know the punching
Yeah.
is like super 80s and cheesy, but like it
Super
was
60s.
60s.
Very much. It reminds me of like
The
60s
original
Yeah.
series.
action.
Yeah, some of the punches were like, it was
Very
like,
understated.
At least the one
and
that punched
it was
him.
like really
It's
far
like,
away from
oh,
him. Yeah,
it's
no.
like very weak.
and after he punched him, he's like in a pose for a couple
yeah,
seconds.
yeah, yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Eh.
But it's like it's
Were you
part of that
slightly-
time.
It happened
era.
like just enough that it makes me think maybe it was intentional as like a throwback. It wasn't constant.
Yeah.
It was like once
Well,
or twice.
But also, you know, 80s, early 80s action like that is kind of similar.
Maybe.
I don't know. I didn't mind
But
it.
not to as big of a degree, I think.
Were you slightly confused when Spock put his hand on Bones' like neck to make him
Oh.
like fall to the ground?
I
just
I
assumed
thought
it
he
was
was
a
just
thing.
good at pressure points or
No,
something.
that's a very the Vulcan nerve pinch. This is a thing he does all the time in the
Okay.
original series, and he doesn't do it
He
at all
just,
in
like,
the
trolls
movies,
people.
except at the
Just
end.
trolls people.
Because, well, what it was when they were filming the original series, they're like, okay, so Spock, in the script, they're like, okay, so Spock goes up and punches this dude, knocks him, and like Spock wouldn't do that, and Leonard Nimoy himself was like, why doesn't he just like pinch their neck and lower them to the ground or something instead of punching them?
Oh.
Also,
So
when he
that's
puts
just a
his
minor
hand
thing.
on McCoy's face.
What?
It's
Okay.
fine.
Watch
You don't
number
need to know.
3.
Yeah.
Watch.
Yeah, no,
watch
I thought he
all-
was just like a smart lad who knew pressure points well and just kind of hit him in the right spot in the neck.
It's the 5-point palm exploding heart technique from a movie you guys haven't seen,
Nope, I
but
haven't
will
seen.
soon.
So
Oh,
the
on
so
the
like
list too.
were they pretty much saying that Spock is gonna be revived in the other movies? Because they were like, well, as soon as we get Genesis working,
Yeah,
we'll
the
come
whole-
back. For
yeah, I was
him."
thinking that the whole last scene is like sequel bait.
Well, they
in a
kind of like
sense.
no, the sequel bait almost kind of removed some of the tension or feeling of Spock dying because they're just like, oh, we'll just save
Yeah.
him
Okay,
later.
but
I agree on that.
given the fact that he was definitely coming back the next one anyways.
Well, how do
based
you
on-
know that?
Well, look at the title of the
Do you
movie.
know the title of the movie?
No.
The Search for Spock.
Okay, yeah, but
I
just
thought you would look
looking
that
at the
up.
movie itself, you know? It's
well,
like, okay,
Think of it as a self-contained unit of movie.
Yeah, but even
I mean,
then,
at least he
works
didn't. At
within
least
the
he didn't
context.
survive.
But it
the
works
race.
within the context of what Genesis is. That even if they didn't end up finding him, the idea that they could kind of goes.
He might
into
be
that.
alive, is the.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
yeah,
like
I
that.
get it. It would have been, in my eyes, it would have been better if they hadn't mentioned Genesis and just let him be dead. But also, it wouldn't have opened up the sequels, so
yeah. Yeah. Who cares? It's
it,
fine.
it helped out the series.
It plays
At the-
Scotty in the new series. In the
Who's
reboot.
Scotty?
Scotty was
the
like the.
engineering guy.
yeah.
Scottish.
Oh, okay.
He was the guy that was like, "Don't go in there. You'll get killed
Yeah,
by
he,
the
he didn't end up.
radioactive
He didn't
stuff."
end up dying, no. Yeah, because he told Kirk to not go in there.
Yeah.
It looked like he was dying, like midway through.
Well, that's just how he looks. It
The
always looks like
engineer-
he's dying.
The engineering crew get treated
Yeah,
so
they get
poorly.
wrecked so
No,
much.
in the original
Yeah,
series.
yeah, that's the whole joke with the red shirt
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah, in the original series, the whole time, like, Scotty's, like, dying from stuff and trying to fix
Yeah,
engineering
actually.
stuff, like, in the original
And they're like
series.
verbally abusing him,
Yeah.
telling him, like, hurry
Yeah.
up, man,
Yeah,
hurry up.
Why didn't we fix this thing
He's
yet?
like
And
half dying.
That's. I feel like this is a trope throughout what was I saying? Sci-fi things. There's a lot of sci-fi things that do that. I feel
Yeah.
like it's just like a trope to abuse
No,
the engineering
Yeah,
crew.
I thought to myself, like, man, I would
Oh.
not set up for the engineering
Yeah,
crew.
it was Firefly. I was watching Firefly, right? And the one engineering crew person in that gets just told like constantly like make it work, fix it, and it's like you're making them fix the entire
Yeah.
ship on their own. That's just a trope.
A good trope. They deserve it.
No, I don't understand it.
Scotty's great. The actor who played Scotty was he was in World War II. He was there on D-Day.
Really?
Yeah. So I like him a lot. He was really good in those movies.
James Doohan?
Yeah, I like him a lot.
At the end of the universe lies the beginning of vengeance. Star Trek II. The Wrath of Khan.
Should we give a final verdict?
We should.
So we should
That's
say like our
happened
letterbox
next.
scores at the end.
Okay.
Okay,
Or
go.
just our scores. I have to call it letterbox scores.
Yeah. Okay.
Follow us on Letterboxd.
Yes, please. Link in description.
Link in the description.
Okay. So, you recommended this movie. What would you give it out of 10?
I gave it a 10 out of 10.
Very
and
good.
it's on your top 4.
It's in my top 4 on Letterboxd. It's I would recommend it to anyone who likes 80s special effects as well, because I think this is the
Yeah.
peak of like industrial light and magic special effects. All miniatures and stuff. That's like one of my favorite
It's no
things.
Blade
It's not very
Runner, but-
showy. You know,
Yeah,
it's
but I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's perfect. I love it.
It's good for what it is.
And so
yeah.
the Genesis blowing up, that was the only CGI you were talking about, right?
No, the earlier scene where on a computer, it's like they're talking about Genesis, saying what it can do. That's like it was done by Pixar, and it's like this really groundbreaking thing.
Okay.
Oh,
It was
Right.
cool. There's
Yeah.
some cool story behind it.
Yeah, I
Look
gave
up.
it a 9 out of 10. It was good.
I did. I give it a 10 out of 10.
Wow.
I think this and A Voyage Home, I give both of those movies a 10 out of 10.
That's 4, right? Voyage Home?
Yes. I really like it. It's one of my favorite science fiction films. My second favorite science fiction film of 1982. So, it's really good, very memorable. It's one of those movies that you watch and like certain scenes stick out, and it always stays with you. I think there's some
Yeah.
really good.
It's
moments
very
in it.
memorable.
It really.
I can
is.
still remember like the whole thing really well.
Yeah,
It's nice.
very good.